Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the German Sherman, which is quite a rarity now I guess. And I just thought that since I've done the prototype I might as well do the Sherman as well. So, it's in itself pretty identical to the Sherman in the American tree. The only differences at the moment are that this Sherman has, I'd say, weaker track armor around the tank, on the turret and on the hull. And it also gets the turret launched smoke grenade launcher. For some reason the normal Sherman in the American tree doesn't get that, but anyway, I'm sure it will soon, so it's not really much for a point. But either way, it's a pretty identical tank, but it does perform very differently. And the main reason why that is because the biggest danger to the regular M4 Sherman is the German teams. You know, they all have guns that are like an entire BR below that can pen you anywhere frontally. But because this Sherman is on the German team every single time, you can actually use your armor and have it as a reliable factor in how you play. And that's what makes this tank better than the M4A2 in the American tree. So, I've got two very good quick games for you today. I had about a 4-hour session recording the day before trying to get some gameplay of it, but I didn't get anything I thought was very good. And then I woke up today and I played 2 games and they were both very good back to back, so good news there. Anyway, I really do hope you enjoy, and before we start I will go over the lineup that I would recommend if you are playing 4.3 Germany. Right, so the lineup for 4.3 Germany that I've been using consists of the Sherman, of course, the SPA, Wirbelwind. It's what you're going to want to go for, 3.7 upwards to whatever you like, really. I mean, it's a great anti-air, it works pretty much everywhere, and you can also kill light tanks with it as well, so you've got that advantage in the Whirlwind. For your other medium, I'd go with the Panzer IV, just because it's a staple, really. You've got decent mobility, decent armor, and a great gun that's going to be competitive pretty much everywhere. You know, it's a decent option to take an up tier or wherever you like, really. For a tank destroyer, I go with the Dicker Max over the Flak Truck, just because I think it's a bit harder to kill, and you do have that killing power that's a lot more reliable, and you can sit out and snipe and not worry about getting hull broken. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's what you prefer. I mean, I prefer this tank. Some people might prefer the Flak Truck, and I think either one does work okay because they basically fulfill the same role. They just have slightly different play styles, and I prefer this one. I'd like to go with a second tank destroyer in the Stug G, just because it costs a lot less to spawn. So if you're having a bad game and you want to get another tank out there that maybe you couldn't if you had another medium or a premium in the KV2 or the KV1B, excuse me. I just prefer this tank just because, you know, again, good armor for what it is, good gun, decent mobility in a tank destroyer, so it's a lot less SP to spawn, and it's a pretty reliable tank at that as well. For your planes, I don't think this tier really needs a fighter, so if you have it, I'd go with the premium HE219, as it's going to pretty much function as the ME410 of 4.3, and will still function in an up tier or whenever you like, really, and you are not really that maneuverable, but your head-on capability is pretty much good enough to deal with any aircraft in the game, so I think it's a quite reliable option. And I also do like to go with the Duck as well, or the B2 with the 30mm. I think both of them work okay. Again, it just depends which one you prefer. I mean, I prefer this one just because it's a lot more satisfying to get kills with, even though I think the B2 is a bit more reliable. So that's what I've been using. On to the first game. Right, the first game is on Frozen Pass, and this match was a little bit of a slaughter, and it all happened very, very quickly. This is the first game of the day. I was feeling pretty confident with it. I went out and got an energy drink and a pretty damn fine sausage roll, so I was like on top form to play today. So, placing down a little bit of preemptive artillery to hopefully spot something for the team or for me. Not really trying to kill anything, but it's a good habit to get into, just so you know if there's definitely going to be a unit near you or somewhere on the map. So I'm pulling up here because I want to be in an elevated position, because it's going to heighten the effectiveness of my armor. As this is a 4.7 game, there are going to be a few more things that can do me some damage. So KV1 by the church, perfectly side on to me, so I can get a nice, clean, easy kill. Just trying to look around to see if there's anything over there, and it's at this point I see that the Chaffee next to me has been killed. So I don't want to move in case something can see me through the bottom of the trees, as it is an ASU I know is there. So I'm just waiting to see where he is, and I spot him right there. And because I'm perfectly hidden behind the tree, I'm not going to try and angle and turn my hull, because that way he might be able to see me as I'm flat in the turn and shoot me in the side. If I do it like this, he's only going to be able to hit my engine. So knock him out in the hull break, but I catch a glimpse of something through the trees. I'm not sure exactly what it is, so I stay still. I don't want to turn again for the same reason, and it's a Sherman Firefly. And I don't think he's seen me, so I just drive a little bit forward, angling myself to make sure to limit the damage I can take. He drives outside on, I get another shot, and I look down in front of me and I see quite a few tanks. So drive out to see exactly what I'm dealing with, and I think the Jumbo there is a better target, so I go for the side of the lower plate to guarantee a kill. And basically here I can pick and choose, none of them have noticed me. Straight into the side of the Sherman, middle of the tank between the turret and the driver, and knock out the T-34 as well. So that was a very quick ace, but only halfway there. So just gathering myself a bit after that, I've killed quite a few there. See a Cromwell, go straight through the front plate, knock him out in one shot too, and I'm getting peppered by a Gaz take a shot. Don't get the hull break, but doesn't matter, he's going to drive out very nicely and give me a perfect opportunity to get the hull break in. So whew, that was exciting. So I don't want to drive directly down that hill because I think that a lot of tanks could be looking in that position. I don't want someone to see me and then get the easy opportunity of shooting me while my front plate is normalised to them while I'm driving down the hill. So I'm going to go down the back route here and try and take a few tanks by surprise. So just being careful, you know, I don't want to rush out. And also, again, as I am driving down a hill, my front plate's angle is normalised, so anything can really go right through me. But there's nothing around here, so I'm just going to go straight out and head over to A that's being captured right now. And I do have quite a fun engagement coming up that involves a lot of smoke. And I think this made the match for me, really. So, see a tank over there, a little bit preemptively fire, and miss. And I see a T-34 up on top there, take a shot, hit the middle of the plate. I know the range now, so I can just adjust a little bit and go right through the turret, and that's another one-shot kill. So, just rolling towards A, and I see a 76 Sherman, and that's kind of a danger to me. So, I play it cautious and pop my smoke. I'm only doing this because if I miss my first shot on him, I'm going to die. So, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to take advantage of the smoke. I mean, I know where he is because he's firing tracers, and although my gun isn't that great, I can pretty reliably dodge his shots, judging from where he's going to be. I'm trying here to get the shot on the side of the cast armor, but I miss and go for the front plate instead. So, pop another smoke and go back to try and re-engage. Just firing to see if I can get a lucky shot on him at this point, really. Another smoke. I can see where he's firing, and I just try here to aim a little bit higher and go for the turret, and there we go, right through, and that's kill number 10. And that was a very quick and very fun game. That's all that happened in that game, really. Didn't really see anyone else, and just drove around for about 7 minutes, I think. So, pretty decent reward for what it is. I mean, it's a decent premium and it gives good reward, and it's a shame that it's not available anymore. It might be available again in the future. More about that at the end. So, match number 2 is on Abandoned Factory. I'm driving up to C point here, see an SMK right off the bat, and straight through the bottom of the turret to get that ammo rack. And I did cut the drives for these 2 videos a bit short, just because I don't want to make the videos too long and, you know, a little bit boring. So I've just left in all the action this time, and I hope it ends up a little bit better. So, driving out here, don't want to overextend too much, but I preemptively angle myself and see another Sherman go for the side of the hull, which is a pretty reliable penetration, and knock him out. I see the Panzer IV got killed by a KV-1, and I don't know where that is. I wasn't watching, so I've just got to be a bit careful. He could be down by the hill there or around the corner. I just want to make sure I'm not going to get hit this early on. So I see something over by that building there, and I take a shot. I don't really plan on penning him, but it's just to see if it's a Zis KV or regular, and it is a Zis, so I don't want to fight that at this range because he can go through my turret. He can't pen my hull, but it's still not really a risk that I want to take, seeing as I need to aim for a much smaller weak spot on him and he needs to on me, and it's just not really a reliable fight. So again, using smoke, pop that and retreat down back, and hopefully my teammates will do the same. Because fighting a KV Zis at long range is pretty difficult. So driving back into the complex, I can hear a lot of Russian guns going off. I know there's going to be a lot of targets there. So drive around the corner, and there's a T-34 through the wall. So he's not looking at me, I can just drive out, straight into the side, easy clean kill with this very, very powerful gun. The post-penal effects on this gun are crazy. So, see another tank coming up, fire a bit too late and just get him in the engine and the driver and machine gunner. Another T-34 pokes out and get him too. Just trying to see if I can see the first T-34 there, but I can't. I don't really want to bother risking the shot. So just pop smoke there just in case the KV's looking at me. No need to take any risks. So drive out and angle myself towards where the KV could be, and swing my gun around, get another kill, reverse a little bit, trying to see if the KV's still there. I can't see him at the moment. I look away at just the wrong time and I do get hit in the turret, taking out 3 of my crew. So drive behind this mound of, what is it, coal? Something like that. And just kind of get my bearings, mark where he is just in case anyone can help me out. And I need to get over to the C point to get another crew member. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to use my smoke. I use smoke quite a bit on this tank. It's really useful. I pop it to the left and to the right here just to try and confuse him to see where the direction is I'm going, and I'm going to wait before driving out because I know if I were him I'd shoot to try and get the tank crossing, and he does, thank you very much for that. And I drive right through because I know he's not going to take another shot and hit me. So get out of range of his fire and sit in the cap circle, as we do need the caps at this point in the game. We are losing on tickets. So angling myself to where I think it's going to be most likely enemies are going to come from, and I can just... oh, T-50. And at this point, funnily enough, I was taking a sip from my drink and I was trying to shoot him one-handed and I was a bit slow. So I did miss out on a kill there, but you know, can't be too greedy. So look behind me and I just see the exhaust round the corner there of what I think is an ASU-57. So I angle back with my engine again because it's a small caliber and it's not going to overmatch the side very easily. And just get my turret round as he pokes around the corner and get the hull break. And I immediately get my crew member back as I know I'm going to be pretty safe from here on to get that back. I'm just looking to my back because at this point the KV Zis is probably going to push up as he hasn't had anything to shoot at for a while. So I'm just waiting, looking around to see where he is and where he's going to show up. Looking through the back window of that factory there because the rest of the tanks on C are now driving off. And I see him there just cross through one of the windows. So I know it's coming into the complex. Tag him up, and what I'm going to plan on doing is hiding in this building to my right and wait for him to pop around the corner maybe and get a quick, easy kill when he's not looking. I say quick and easy, it's not really that easy to do on a KV with the short 75, but either way, we'll see what we can do. So I'm just trying to work out at this time where exactly he is in the complex, if he is around the corner. And he just crosses over right there. So I think I'm going to hide. I'm going to wait for him to come out because I know he's going to have to come and cap C because there's nothing else over there. He's going to get bored. He might take a few shots, but he's eventually going to drive out in front of me. So, you know, I don't need to risk it. I can just wait here and just wait for him to come to me. So just scanning around, trade my APHE out for APCR just in case. And just to make sure I can get a more reliable kill on him. So, just checking around me to see if any other tanks are coming, waiting to see where the KV is, and a little T-50 comes around the corner, which can pen me at this angle, but luckily I don't think he even takes a shot and just starts spraying me. Shoots my front plate, but no ways if I can get through that. Go back to APHE so I can go right through the front plate, and that's a one-shot, and switch back to APCR for the KV. I know he's fired, so again I'm safe to just drive out a little bit and wait for him to cross over into the C point, which I know at this point is what he's going to do. So just waiting, there he is. I do shoot, I think, a little bit too late here. I should have waited, but I do get his transmission, so he is stuck. And what I can do here is I can either bait a shot from him or keep shooting the engine to set him on fire. Either way is going to work, it just depends what he gives me. So just poke out a little bit to see if he shoots, take a little pot shot there, and he does. So keep APCR loaded, and I go for his breach and take out all of the crew in the turret and the breach as well, and just go for the driver and the machine gunner to finish him off. And there we go. So switching back to APHE now, and just going to drive back, I think, towards B. So turning round and heading back. Just checking around me to see if there are any other tanks, and there are. I can just start to hear, because I play on quite low sound, an engine of a T-34, and he is waiting for me to come around this corner, and we both acknowledge each other, and I fire smoke because hopefully this is going to push him to push me. And if I angle the camera around the smoke, I can see what it's going to do, and I do take a very bad shot on him, but for some reason he takes an even worse one. Unlucky. So, take him out too. And I do get 10 kills this game, and the 10th kill is a little bit of a funny one. So I drive around the corner here and I see that our friendly KV2 is in a bit of trouble. So I just check my corners, make sure nothing's going to shoot at me, because I don't really know what's around him. He's not pinging anything, and I'm looking over and I can't see anything. So I look through the binoculars, and just as I pull out, a little M4A2 drives out from the side of him, and there we go, that's kill number 10. So I actually went 20-0 with this thing today, which was pretty fun. I had some really fun games. So, onto the review screen. Well, this tank, in a relative sense, is better than the M4A2 and the American tree, only really because it gets Germany on its team every single time. I mean, sure, you can face Japan now, but even so, your main danger in this tank, the tank itself, not necessarily the German one, would be German tanks. You know, everything a point BR below you that Germany has pretty much can pen you frontally, and even the 50 mils can go through the turret, the 75s can go through the hull, anywhere. And to have this tank on the German team, it opens up a lot of doors to how you can play it. Mainly just because this tank can rely on its armour when it's not against Germany. Just because and the Americans and the British can't really go through your hull unless you're up against an M10 or something like that. But they can go through your turret. It's a bit hit and miss. There's a little part on the left and the right that can be penned, but it's not really that reliable. So your armour is reliable in a Sherman. So that is a very big plus for this tank. But the only real negatives it has really is that it doesn't handle too well in an up tier. I mean, the tank itself is fine. You still good mobility, good post-pen damage. But if you're up against things like, you know, Jumbos, regular Shermans, you know, Churchill 7s, Cheetos, anything like that, you are going to have a bit of a struggle because your armour and your gun aren't really up to scratch. So in an up tier, it doesn't work as well, especially if it's a 5.0 or 5.3. So you're not going to be able to use this in all scenarios. But as a tank itself, it's very, very good. Against America and Britain at 4.3, you do very, very well. And you also have the element of surprise on your side in that they're not going to be expecting a German Sherman. It's a very, very rare vehicle. So it's not something people are going to be prepared for. So if you're driving out in like an American British tank and you know that you're not going to be seeing any Shermans, you're not going to have that in your head expecting how to kill them, especially if it's someone that mains a tree like Britain or America, and they're not going to see this tank very much. So they're going to have a much harder time killing it because they've never had to before. They don't need to instantly adjust to work out how to kill this tank, and they're probably going to try and shoot centre mass, shoot the mantlet a few times, and by that time you're going to have the opportunity to fire back and knock them out because you're expecting them. I think that's really where this tank does shine, in that it has a lot of things going for it just because it's on the German side. I mean, the gun itself, the pen isn't very good, but you do have a PCR if you run into anything tricky like the KV-1s or anything like that, really. But you are going to have to make sure to position yourself in a... well, it's difficult to kind of put this point into words because it seems really benign when I say put yourself into a good point on the map, because obviously that's what you're going to want to do anyway. But what I mean is that you know that your gun isn't very powerful in its penetration, but it's very good in its post-pen. So you're going to want to hit things from the side. So even if you don't push out too much, you are going to want to catch tanks in the side if you can, especially if you're at an up tier. Not really if you're at 4.3, because you can deal with pretty much anything you like. But you are going to be seeing things like Jumbos, Churchills, KVs at an up tier. So you're going to have to bear that in mind, in that you're probably not going to be able to deal with them frontally very well. So just read the map, read your situation. If you know you're going to be going up against things that you can't pen frontally reliably, work on that. So go to a place on the map where you know that you can force that engagement. But if you're at 4.3 or you're not against America, just play this like a tank. And that, again, I think sounds very stupid, but it's a tank. It's got a good gun, good armor, good mobility. It is a tank. And saying that out loud makes me sound like a complete idiot, but hopefully you get what I mean there. I know that's a bit of a silly thing to say. But either way, I think this tank is very functional, very capable, and I think I'm going to rate it an 8 out of 10. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It's quite a fun video to make. I hadn't touched the Sherman for ages, so playing it again was very fun, and I had quite a few nice engagements of people in chat, not even knowing that a German Sherman existed, which is always fun. So a little bit of news as well is that I've been partnered by Gaijin. Crazy that happened so quick, but I'm very, very thankful for all of the support and everything. It's been crazy, and I can't wait for more of it to come. It's been really, really great so far. So thank you, all of you, for liking, sharing, writing your comments down. It's brilliant. I really like reading through all of them because it's always requests or advice or anything like that, and it's really appreciated. I read everyone, and I really do enjoy doing it. So thank you very much for that. And as a extra reward for sticking around this far, I have information from a very reliable source on if this tank is going to be available in the future. And I don't know when, but at some point it will be. And I do know that it's very likely that it will be given away as a reward for some sort of tournament. So if you're a collector, you may have the opportunity to get this tank again. I don't know when, I don't know in what form, but I do know it'll be on some sort of tournament reward basis. So watch out for that. It might be a few years down the line, but it will come. So I hope you enjoy that little bit of secret information. Don't go spreading it around. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please leave feedback, anything you like in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.